On a Monday morning in California, a bank employee unlocks the doors of United California Bank, just like he's done 100 times before. The lights come on. The cameras are running. The alarm system shows no errors. From the outside, nothing looks wrong. No broken door. No shattered glass. No sign that anything unusual happened over the long weekend. He walks to the vault, spins the combination dial, and pulls the heavy door open. What he sees inside nearly drops him to his knees. Hundreds of safe deposit boxes, smashed open. Cash, gold, jewelry, important documents. Gone, but this isn't the strangest part. In the past 3 days, no alarms went off. No 911 calls were made. And not a single witness saw or heard anything. For the FBI, this became the quietest bank robbery in U.S. history. A bank heist where no one heard a gunshot. No one screamed for help, and yet millions of dollars simply vanished from a supposedly secure American vault. And according to some, the thieves didn't just steal money. They may have walked away with some of the darkest political secrets in U.S. history. This is the story of the United California Bank burglary in Laguna Niguel, California, a silent, surgical break-in that left the FBI stunned, and that was ultimately destroyed by one tiny human mistake. Stay with me. My name is Tanvir, and you're watching Obscured Crimes, where we break down the most shocking, overlooked, and almost unbelievable criminal cases from the United States. If you like deep dive stories about U.S. bank robberies, FBI investigations, and real American crime history, watch this one all the way to the end. And then tell me in the comments, was this just a genius bank heist? Or was it something much bigger? Let's go back to California, 1972. It's 1972. Laguna Niguel, California is a quiet, wealthy suburb in Orange County. Palm trees, nice houses, ocean not too far away, the kind of place where people feel comfortable leaving their doors unlocked. In the middle of this peaceful community sits a branch of United California Bank. To most people, it's just a normal American bank. Families rent safe deposit boxes. Retirees deposit their life savings. Business owners handle their accounts and loans. But the heart of this building is its vault, a reinforced concrete chamber with a massive steel door and hundreds of safe deposit boxes. Inside those boxes are decades of wealth and secrets. Cash, gold, and jewelry, legal documents, and possibly, according to some rumors, sensitive political money. On paper, this vault is impenetrable. Heavy construction, time locks, alarm systems. Exactly what you would expect from a secure U.S. bank in the early 70s. What nobody in Laguna Niguel knows is that, almost 2,300 miles away, in a tough steel town called Youngstown, Ohio, a professional burglary crew is quietly planning to prove that this vault isn't as safe as everyone thinks. Their leader is a man named Amil Dinsio. He isn't a street robber. He doesn't walk in with a gun and a mask. He's a specialist, a vault man. Dinsio believes one thing: a vault is only as smart as the men who built it. And I'm smarter than them. He doesn't want hostages. He doesn't want chaos. His goal is simple: get in, get everything, leave nothing behind but confusion. And his next target? The United California Bank branch in Laguna Niguel. According to multiple accounts, the idea for this heist didn't start with just money. It started with a rumor. At some point, Amil Dinsio hears that this specific bank in Laguna Niguel, California, might be holding more than wealthy clients' savings. The rumor is that inside this vault, there could be a secret political slush fund, money allegedly linked to then-President Richard Nixon or his campaign donors. Whether that's completely true or not, we may never know. But for a career burglar like Dinsio, that rumor is like blood in the water. A wealthy California suburb, a secure American bank, and possibly politically sensitive cash and documents sitting in unassuming metal boxes. He makes a decision. This will be the biggest job of his life. Dinsio puts together a hand-picked team from Ohio, family members, and trusted associates. They don't look like movie criminals. They dress well, act calm, and fly under the radar. They travel from Youngstown, Ohio to Southern California, rent a discreet house in the area, and start turning their temporary home into a command center. For days, they do nothing but observe. When does the bank open and close? When are there people on the street? Does anyone patrol the neighborhood at night? Where are the alarm boxes and wires? They study the bank's design and they find something important. The vault is heavily protected at the door. Sensors, locks, alarms, exactly what you'd expect. But the concrete above the vault? That might be a different story. Dinsio believes there is a way in from the roof, through the concrete, bypassing most of the alarm system. The crew also allegedly tests the alarm system ahead of time, cutting certain wires, watching response times, and learning which circuits matter and which don't. They run practice sessions with tools and explosives in remote areas. They measure sound, blast patterns, and timing. This is not a smash and grab. This is a military-style operation. The objective: no alarms, no witnesses, no mistakes. At least that was the plan. It's late March 1972. A long weekend is beginning. On Friday, the United California Bank branch in Laguna Niguel closes like normal. Employees lock up, set the alarms, and go home. They have no idea their vault is about to be invaded. That night, under cover of darkness, Dinsio's crew moves in. No masks at the front door. No yelling. No forced entry visible from the street. Their target isn't the lobby, it's the roof. The men quietly climb onto the building, find the spot directly above the vault, and start working on the concrete. For hours, the only sounds are the bite of tools and controlled, muffled blasts, not loud enough to wake the neighborhood, but powerful enough to chew through inches of reinforced concrete. They know where the major alarm lines run. They know what they can cut and what they must avoid. By the time most people are deep asleep, there's a rough opening in the roof, a black circle leading straight down toward the vault. One by one, the burglars lower themselves through the hole, into the bowels of the bank. Below the vault door stands solid and untouched. But that door is not what they came for. Lining the vault walls are hundreds of safe deposit boxes, each one a tiny locked container full of private wealth. To the crew, it's like standing inside a forest of money. What happens next is slow, methodical destruction. They pry, they cut, they break, box after box after box. Inside are stacks of cash, gold coins, diamonds, rare jewelry, bearer bonds, securities, and personal documents. The piles of loot grow higher. Outside, nothing. No flashing lights, no sirens, no alarm calls to the police. From the street, the bank looks completely normal. Inside, one of the largest and quietest vault burglaries in U.S. history is unfolding. By some estimates, the burglars open hundreds of boxes. The official loss is often reported around $9 million at the time. But some sources and investigators believe the true value could have been as high as $30 million in cash and valuables. To put that in perspective, adjusting for inflation, you're talking the equivalent of tens of millions of dollars today. When they're finally done, the crew gathers the loot, packs it into bags, and climbs back out the same way they came in. Through the hole in the roof, into the night. The vault door is still intact. The front door is still locked. The alarm system still hasn't screamed for help. Over the next day or two, the bank sits quietly, a sealed crime scene that doesn't yet know it's a crime scene. A perfect paradox. A bank robbery that, at the time it happened, nobody knew was happening. Then comes Monday morning. Employees arrive, unlock the front door, and start their normal routine. Everything looks exactly as they left it. The alarm log shows no major alerts. Nothing seems disturbed. Until they open the vault. The massive door swings wide, and they're met with chaos. Safe deposit boxes are bent, twisted, and ripped apart. Metal shards cover the floor. Rows of boxes hang open and empty, like pulled teeth. They instantly understand this wasn't a small theft. This was a full-scale vault burglary. The police are called. Very quickly, the FBI is called. Agents and forensic teams arrive and immediately see what makes this case so bizarre. The vault door is untouched. There's no obvious forced entry to the front of the building. No, alarms went off over the weekend. There are no hostages, no frantic phone calls. Just a gutted vault and missing millions. Newspapers across the United States jump on the story. Biggest bank burglary in California history? Was this an inside job? FBI baffled by silent Laguna Niguel heist. Rumors flare up again. Did the burglars steal a secret political fund? Were they targeting specific safe deposit boxes? Was someone powerful behind the scenes? For the FBI, one thing is clear. This wasn't random. Whoever did this understood alarm systems, understood vault construction, and had the patience and discipline to work all night, quietly, under pressure. This had all the trademarks of a professional bank burglary crew. The question now was, which one? At first, the crime scene doesn't give the FBI a smoking gun, but it does give them patterns. They examine tool marks, footprints, and the method of entry. The way the vault was breached from above. The fact that the thieves went straight for the safe deposit boxes. To the trained eye, it feels familiar. Agents start comparing this job to other major bank burglaries around the country. They land on a cluster of similar break-ins in the Midwest, particularly around Youngstown, Ohio. Same style, weekend jobs, silent entry, focus on vaults and safe deposit boxes. Minimal or no alarms. From those past cases, one name keeps showing up in FBI files: Amil Dinsio. The investigation goes national. Agents in California start working with offices in Ohio. They trace car rentals, airline tickets, unusual cash movements, and anyone from Ohio who suddenly showed up in Southern California right before the burglary. And this is where the crew's greatest strength, their professionalism, collides with their greatest weakness. They're still human. Despite all the planning, someone leaves a trace. In the real case, it wasn't just one thing, it was a combination of mistakes. Certain physical evidence that tied back to known associates. Travel and phone records that matched suspicious timelines. And after the heist, some members allegedly started spending money in ways that drew attention. One man bought a brand new car in cash. Another made suspicious financial moves. Slowly, the FBI builds a web, connecting the United California bank burglary to Dinsio's crew in Ohio. Surveillance intensifies. Wiretaps are used. Friends and acquaintances are questioned. Eventually, they have enough. In a series of coordinated operations, the FBI arrests Amil Dinsio and several members of his gang. The men who pulled off one of the quietest and most technically impressive vault burglaries in U.S. history are now facing a very loud reality: federal prosecution. They are tried, convicted, and given long prison sentences. Some of the stolen money and valuables are recovered, but a significant portion is never found. To this day, we don't know exactly how much they took. We don't know exactly what was in every one of those safe deposit boxes. And we don't know for sure whether any political slush fund was among the loot. What we do know is this: the same precision that allowed them to beat the bank's vault couldn't save them from their own small human errors. One tiny mistake can be louder than any alarm. So that was the quietest bank robbery in U.S. history. No alarms, no witnesses. Better known as the United California Bank burglary of 1972 in Laguna Niguel, California. A case where no gunshots, no masks in the lobby, no hostages on the floor. Just a roof, a hole, a vault full of shattered metal, and millions of dollars in secrets disappearing into the night. Even decades later, a few questions still linger. Was this really just about money? Did the burglars intentionally target political cash or sensitive documents? And if the FBI hadn't matched this job to earlier heists in Ohio, would this crew have ever been caught? Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this was purely a brilliant U.S. bank heist? Or do you believe there was a political angle, that someone wanted specific boxes emptied? If you were the lead FBI agent on this case, what would you have focused on first? The physical evidence in the vault, travel records, or the previous pattern of similar robberies? Tell me your theory in the comments. I read all of them, and I might feature the best ones in a future video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a real FBI bank robbery investigation in U.S. crime history, hit the like button, subscribe to Obscured Crimes, and share this video with someone who still thinks bank vaults are unbreakable. I'm your name, and this was the story of the quietest bank robbery in U.S. history. No alarms, no witnesses. I'll see you in the next episode with another crime that almost stayed in the dark.